Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. Geminis, let's go ahead and jump on in. How are we starting out? Message in a bottle. We may have somebody that is like casting their line and saying, I hope that this gets to you. I hope that my message gets through to you. This could also be an unexpected, even like wrong phone number, phone call that comes through, and it's like, hey, I think I got a text from you, but I think you're trying to reach somebody else. That could open up a conversation. Los amantes. We have the lovers. Um, by the way, I'm choosing a Spanish deck today. Perhaps that, like, there's a Latin flavor to this. This is romantic, and we actually have these two characters that are sitting there writing letters. There could be some interesting layers to this storyline. Let's just see. This is amazing because we have Gemini, right? Gemini all day, all over this. Cinco de Espadas, we've got the Five of Swords. We could have had characters who actually are pretty fiery. They may have, when things are good and they're romantic, they're romantic. When things are bad, they could have sharp words for each other, or their words. It could have been a text fight. And it could be, let me focus on just what the message in the bottle is, because I'm feeling like this could be a missed message, something that maybe would clear all this up, or even an apology. Reina de Espadas, here we go. We've got a message that is intended to either get to Gemini, our Queen of Swords here, or, and this is very respectful, this is very loving, this is, she's in the upright. If somebody is trying to send a letter, if Gemini's romantic partner, who they had an argument with, is trying to send a message of respect and of love, I'm afraid it's not arriving. Because think of what happens when we think we've sent the message properly, but it gets tossed out into the ocean instead. Or we think we emailed, but that email disappeared. It got put in spam. There was some, full inbox. It could be that somebody has sent a very meaningful, heartfelt message and it never even got to Gemini. Now, this vice versa could be true as well. Perhaps this is Gemini who's reached out to this person and they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't even heard back from them. I sent them this very nice, very heartfelt message, but I haven't heard from them. Not all messages arrive at their destination. Some get lost at sea. We have got El Señor Oscuro. Okay, so we've got our devil. We've got either fear. Somebody either has sent a message, it didn't get received, and it's like, oh gosh, I'm so stressed out over this. I'm so worried. I'm so scared that this came out all wrong. I'm so worried that it'll look desperate, or I'm so worried that they'll think I'm toxic, or, I'm afraid to reach out a second time because I don't want them to think I'm obsessed. But I'm so worried, what if they didn't get the message? Okay, I can see where that would be very concerning. What do I do now when I can't tell, did they get the message or did they not? Reina de Pentacles, there's a Queen of Pentacles. La Transfiguración. I'm sorry, I haven't taken Spanish since a very long time ago, so please forgive me for my poor pronunciation. I need some remedial courses. We got the Death card here. Maybe it's over because they love somebody else. They're with some other queen. I hope she's ugly. I'm sorry. I'm only saying that because it's almost like I feel like that's just some weird little side note. It's like, I bet they're with somebody else. I hope she's not prettier than me. Like, I feel like that's a vibe, it's that little inner voice that's like, fine, I guess maybe they've moved on. I mean, I can't reach out again because then they'll think that I'm so obsessed with them. And if they're with some other Queen of Pentacles by now, then probably that's who they're with. But I hope you're happy, but I also hope that they're not prettier than me. It just feels like there's this little, the inner voice can't help it kind of add something in. And I only say that because the devil is here. There's some fear. There's, I feel like this is more like on Gemini's side, this is what they're worried about. Or this is somebody who sent that message to Gemini and they're feeling that way. Somebody's really scared to reach out again. Okay, let's change decks and let's see. Can I get a message on, since we saw two people sitting there, whoops, writing. What have we got? Okay, we've got Virgo Gemini on the Magician. We got the Ace of Cups and we got the Six of Swords. So the other half of this equation, the person who may have sent a message and that message may not have arrived. On the other half of this equation, we have somebody who's been trying to manifest, please send me a message of love. But I guess if I haven't heard anything, I guess I just have to move on. I'm struggling to figure out which person is Gemini now, because we've literally had Gemini show up what could be 3 times at least, right? We had the Los Amantes, the lovers card. We saw Gemini there. We saw it on the Queen of Swords, and now we see a Gemini Virgo vibe coming off of the Magician. So it's on both sides of the equation. So I can't figure out who's who. Now, of course, we did have some Scorpio energy and some Capricorn energy as well. But we've got I almost think both people are feeling the exact same way, like, maybe you don't want me anymore. I guess I'm going to have to just move on. I mean, I wish that you called me back in. I wish you said that you wanted me. I think their last conversation that they actually received back and forth communication on was angry. Nobody knows that there's been a conversation since then that was trying to like heal the rift. Okay, if this is, let me go to the universe. Universe, tell me, what is maybe the most helpful or most sensitive, or the best way to handle this? We have a 4 of Cups. The universe is like, think about it this way. Characters, are you both sitting in this regret? Are you lamenting what feels like, God, I loved this person so much and I just so regret my words to them. I regret that I was angry. I regret the things that I said. Do I really have to wait to hear from them in order to just say, I'm sorry, I really loved you and I'm so sorry that, I said things that came out wrong? The universe is like, why sit around on the fence in regret and wonder, okay, but I can't reach out. Maybe I already did, but I can't reach out again because what if they don't want me back? What if this, what if that? And the universe is like, yeah, but if you have a regret over the words that you said and you're sitting there in silence, not knowing what the other person is thinking, stop thinking about how they're interpreting and maybe only think, how do I feel? I feel like I have a regret. I feel like there's something I need to say. Even if it's like, I hope you can forgive me. I hope that, I tried writing you once. I don't know if you got it or if you just don't want to talk to me. But for me, I still have a regret of the way I handled things. And so I'm just trying to not have to carry this with me and say, like, I loved you a lot. I have this huge regret. I mean, I think that the universe is just trying to put it in perspective. Stop thinking about like, oh God, what if they think I'm obsessed? What if this, what if that? If there is this deep regret, and there was a, really powerful relationship here at one point, there was great love. These two chose each other as romantic companions, right? We saw that with the Lovers card. And we saw them both probably contribute to arguing and fighting. With this Knight of Cups being sideways here, this is really looking like both people very well may have the exact same emotions, which we have the advantage of saying they do. But the universe is just trying to put it in perspective. Like, no one will ever know what's going on in your head or your heart or where your energy is or what you regret unless you tell them, right? So taking that action instead of saying, well, I have to wait for them to take action. It's like, okay, but own your own behaviors and say, what do I need to do? And then take action. Only, the only thing a character can really influence is themselves, their own thoughts, their own feelings, their own reactions and interactions. So maybe instead of thinking about what the other person might be doing, wanting, wishing, if our character needs to make something right, well, in this case, both characters are feeling the same way, but if they need to make something right with each other, the universe is like, then just take the action that you can for who you are. 10 of Wands, so that you can at least clear your conscience, if it's so that you can lay this down. Do it for you instead of saying, well, I want them to respond to me. We may not get them to tell us everything's okay. But if we really still need to send a message and say, this is not the way I ever wanted it to go. This is, I really cared about you. I have a regret in the way I handled myself. I just needed you to know that because it really bothers me the way I behaved. The universe is like, that'll maybe alleviate some of it. And it also takes away the pressure and the fear of like, oh God, what if they think I'm obsessed with them, that I would write again. This is not about like, I'm trying to get you back as much as it is, I'm trying to own my own actions and behaviors that I'm dissatisfied with and say, I have a regret about the way I behaved. That changes it, right? That makes it so that a character is maturely owning up to whatever role they played in something that they wish they hadn't behaved in a certain way, instead of it feeling like, oh God, this is going to look like a desperate attempt for me to still get in touch with them. I almost think that also maybe it's a blessing that a message did not get sent or did not get received properly, because it's giving characters a chance to maybe reconnect another time or attempt to reconnect, but this time with a whole different vibe. Look, all I can do is own my own behavior and say, I regret the way I behaved. That might be a better way. It's like taking responsibility for whatever role each character played in things. Is this something that these two are going to do? Is this something that these two are actually going to do? We have a 6 of Pentacles. We have a 3 of Swords. Yeah, and I think it's only a matter of time. And I think both of these characters are feeling the same way. They both feel like, God, this was a mess. This isn't the way it was supposed to go. I shouldn't have said the things I said. I honestly, it hurt my heart. And now it hurts my heart to remember that I said something mean. This feels like both characters actually feel the exact same way about the situation, and both characters are wanting to express that. Maybe that's why, maybe this is the real road to them getting things back on track. If both characters are feeling the same way, it's like neither one is coming in to say like, hey, I'm sorry. They're instead coming toward each other to say, I regret the way I behaved. I hate the way I have to remember my last words were to you. That's not the way I would have ever wanted to act. I've done a lot of self-reflection. That is just, again, it's less about like, please forgive me, and more about, I have to own my actions because I don't want to be that person. That is so, they're realizing, I think both characters feel like something hurt their heart. That's not the way they want it to be. So if that's the case, final message just for whomever Gemini is represented by in this story. High Priest. This is the Hierophant. This is, I'm listening to my higher self. My higher self is probably not going to ever tell me to be like, ooh, be mad, be, spit fire. My higher self is going to guide me toward being like more expressive, more loving. Okay, what's the message for the other character who also could be a Gemini or a Scorpio? We do, by the way, also have Taurus in here, but they came out as Gemini or Virgo also. Ace of Swords. If they know what words they need to say, it's time to say it. You know what? Here's the bottom line. In this storyline, it no longer matters if a message didn't get sent or received that might have been about love or might have been an attempt to get back together in the past, because really the way these two could actually get back together in like a really level and like more evolved energy is because they had a missed conversation. They had a message that never got sent or received. And it's better because it kept them apart longer and it let them think about, both of them got to reflect more. Both of them are in this energy of, you know what, truth of it is, I care about this person. I care about them so much. And that's not the way I wanted things to go. Both characters have had enough time apart. It's better that they didn't get a chance to talk in the past. It's better that there was a miscommunication, because this has allowed them to shift into a different kind of energy at this point and connect at a whole different level. It's actually really nice. I feel like these two could have an amazing reconnection now because they're in such the same like mature and loving energy. Very beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thanks so much for hanging out, Geminis. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.